What's up everyone? Porch here with HydroHelp911. Wanted to show y'all a quick project that we did and show you some of the things that we found, why the customer originally called us, and what our solutions were. So this is what we would consider a custom project for us. It involves foundations and stuff like that, but it's not something that we do day in and day out. We have to employ a couple different tactics and techniques to get these jobs finished, but they really excite us. We like taking on different projects from time to time and seeing the final outcome of it. So this customer contacted us after reaching out to numerous other contractors, unable to get anybody willing to take the project on or to call them back. We went out, we looked at it, and the customer already had a structural engineer report, and we'll just scroll through some of these photos for y'all. So this is a over 100-year-old house, very nice big wraparound porch, which is where some of our problems, you can see somebody's did some patchwork in the past. You can see some cracking there. Very nice big brick porch. You can see it's cracked there, a little bit of movement settlement there. More cracking here. You can see some repairs have been made in the past. So this porch is definitely moving. Which is when this customer bought the house, what made them get the structural engineer involved. This is the part that we started working on, and you can really tell both this column and the column in the background are leaning. It's a little bit hard to tell in this picture, but you can definitely tell that back column how far out it's leaning relative to the others. See some repair work's been done here, cracking there. This wall is already starting to fail. I mean, you can see the bricks. This is not during any demo. This is like this when we got there. Here we are taking some measurements for to get our estimate. There was also some things on the inside of the crawl space that the engineer had called out, some improper connections and framing, some improper piers. You know, this is typical of what we see of either DIYers or handyman work. And this may have solved the customer's problem, whoever did this at the time, but it's just not going to pass any type of engineer or county inspection, and most home inspectors are going to call it out as well. These wood shims that should have been metal. These columns here should have had a coat of surface bond. They should have either been mortared originally or had a coat of surface bond put around them to hold them in place from any sliding or anything. Again, these shims, you can barely see them, but they should have been metal. I mean, overall, these piers here don't look that bad other than just missing that coating of surface bond around them and the shims. I would say this is actually better quality work than we're used to seeing going behind people. So here we are, just they use PVC for a sleeve to pour their concrete to set this drop girder here. We're not fans of the notch there, but again, that is better than we typically see it. Here's another good picture. You can see this pier leaning. You can actually see that pier leaning, and that one is not leaning. And these piers are leaning just strictly due to poor soil conditions. If you look closely, you can see the distance between this trim piece right here. It's hard to tell because of the sun, but these are, whoever installed these, we originally thought they were veneer, but these are actually load bearing. There's no post on the inside holding this roof up, which kind of surprised us. But we should have some, so you can see how it's a lot smaller up here, a lot larger down here. So this tells us that whoever built this boxing right here, they built it while the pier was already sloping, and they just formed their trim pieces to the pier. So this settlement had been going on for some time. There's a better picture. You can start seeing some damage here to the mortar. We won't play all the videos. We'll scroll through these. Want to show y'all what our solutions were. Again, these are all just documentation purposes. So here we are, first day. We've come in, we've temporarily supported this roof, and per the engineer report, we're going to start demoing this. We'll just roll y'all through some of this. Getting all the brick out of our way, the roof supported, it's not going nowhere. In today's building techniques, if your builder is doing it correctly, this would not be dirt. You really want any of this fill underneath a concrete slab to be either supported by corrugated metal and the concrete on top of that corrugated metal, or you want to fill this with gravel 100% so that this settlement doesn't occur. So again, we're just demoing, getting everything out of our way so we can get started. We'll breeze through these pictures here. So this engineer called for a 4-foot wide footing. So here we are, we've dug the footing out and we will dig this part too. It calls for specific size and types of rebar. And we don't have we forgot to take some pictures of the rebar. I think we may have a few. Here's some of the interior work. You can see we went back and we shimmed with metal shims here. They didn't pour footings in the basement. They needed some additional supports. Here we are finishing digging the footings, getting the rebar started, and I think that's all the pictures we have for the rebar. Here's our footings in the basement being poured. Some of the final photos here. Here's a little piece we did, a little drainage area. This area was holding water, so we installed a catch basin and drained that away, tied that gutter into it as well. So here we are, rebuilding the wall, getting the wall built back to the specs. Again, projects like this, you're not going to match the mortar 100% compared to the old mortar. Over time, as the sun fades some of this, of course this mortar is brand new, so it's going to be a little bit darker, but as the sun fades it, it'll end up blending and matching pretty good. So getting it all built here. There it is, finished up, sitting on top of our 4-foot wide footing with both horizontal and vertical rebar. We're going to backfill this all with gravel. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you don't want to backfill this with dirt because it's just going to settle. So you can see we've put some gravel in there. And one of the things that we take the extra time to do is the customer wanted a concrete slab poured back here. You can see our grade laser in the back. We make sure that the water is falling away from the foundation. So away from this porch, away from the house. This is something that a lot of concrete companies don't do. And if you're getting a company to pour concrete, you need to make sure that they are taking the time to grade it properly. Just getting it flat is not good enough. It needs to be flat and sloped one direction or the other to get the water flowing away from the concrete. So make sure you talk to your concrete company about that. You can see we got our grade laser right here, checking everything. Here's our laser again. Got our mini skid steer in here, making some final touches. So the customer was okay with this. So what we did was we threw all the broken concrete and brick chips down in the bottom. A lot of people would think this is cutting corners. One of the things that we talked about with this customer is there's no difference between gravel and concrete that's broken up. It's there, it's not going to compact anymore. We made sure there was no gaps or voids. We made sure it was broken up into smaller pieces. This is, some people would say, hey, you're cutting corners. We could have very easily on a project this size hauled this off. It wouldn't have made that much of a difference. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure we're not doing extra work just to do extra work. It's got to make sense. So just wanted to point that out. Here we are getting everything graded for concrete slab. And I think we forgot to take pictures of this backfilled with gravel, but we did. We've installed our post support here. The customer is going to finish trimming this out to match the rest of the columns. He was going to do this himself. Here we are again, just getting prepped for the slab, making sure it's falling away. We broke this piece, accidentally hit it on the side of the house. Again, we're the type of company that if we screw it up, we're going to fix it. So we put this customer a new HVAC exhaust cover on. And we should see, here we are getting the concrete finished. Again, our concrete guys making sure that slopes away from the house. Here is the porch with the concrete. Customer requested, I don't know what this is called. It's a expansion filler that allows the concrete as the temperatures change, it can expand and contract and has room to do this. So this is all the way around. So our concrete guys did a good job on that. But everything looks good, cleaned up good. After concrete, we went back and started backfilling. You know, want to make sure there was dirt here. We piled the dirt just a little high because it's going to settle, but water can still run off. Customer wanted gravel through here. We seeded and strawed. The customer had actually already started putting these back. That was one of the things that we tried our best to do when we took these off, was to take them off nice and neat to where he could reuse them. We didn't promise that up front because we honestly didn't know how rotten this was, but we were able to gently remove some of this, which required just minor repairing once the customer put it back. These are just things that we try to think ahead and try to make it better for any contractors or homeowners or whoever coming behind us to make their life easier. We wish all contractors would do that, but unfortunately that just doesn't happen. We won't go through the videos, but yeah, guys, this is a custom project for us, so we just wanted y'all to see it. We'll play through this little time lapse here. It's us putting the dirt back, grass seed, finishing spreading the gravel. But this is the quality of work that you get from HydroHelp911. This is what we stand behind, what we're willing to do. We may not always be the cheapest, but we guarantee when we're done, the customer's going to be happy. If not, we're going to make them happy. So hopefully this video helps y'all see just one of the many custom projects that we take on. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, 704-813-9554. Check us out online at HydroHelp911.com. Y'all have a good day.